You are now listening to the Girl Organize That Life podcast. Coach L3.
Hi, welcome to the Girl Organize That Life podcast, the premier space for high-achieving moms, mompreneurs, and lady leaders who are ready to stop surviving and start strategically living. I'm your host, Leslie Latimore-Lorfils, proud mother of 12 incredible children, senior Army veteran with nearly 3 decades of distinguished service, certified transformational trainer, and founder of Girl Organize That Life. And around here, we do more than juggle. We build, we lead, we rise. Each week, we dive into faith-fueled strategies, powerful mindset shifts, and purpose-driven business tactics designed to help you activate your next level. Whether you're navigating boardrooms or bedtime routines, our signature 8-step GPS system guides you to clarity, structure, and sustainable success. Because, sis, you are not just busy, you're called. This is where overwhelm meets order, where vision meets velocity, and where women like you boldly declare, I'm enough. So if you're ready to organize your life, scale your impact, and create legacy level freedom, let's get into it. Your elevation starts now. Hey, beautiful boss women. Welcome back to the Girl Organize That Life podcast, where we help to empower busy moms, mompreneurs, and lady leaders. We help you to pivot with poise despite the noise. And we are so excited about season 3. We are like at the halfway point. And if you're just joining us, here's a quick recap of what we've been talking about for this season. Episode 1. We've talked about her story in the making and the real talk about why we waited so long to make the move. Episode 2, it reminded us how to push forward against all odds, where we had our guest, Miss Ann Marie Waits. She was just so dynamic. And then episode 3 showed us how to present a package or present and package an idea and price your brilliance so that you can monetize what's in your hand. We talked about that. And then in episode 4, we looked inward, right? And we talked about our behavior blueprint and how your wiring unlocks success. And this season, we really just wanted to be bolder. We wanted to dig deeper. And so that's why our episodes, they're kind of going to just a deeper direction, because we want to really be able to pull some things out of you. Today, we're diving into something that shifts the entire foundation of how you show up in business. And it's called the BAWSE, BAWSE blueprint. And this is a framework that I created to help you build a business that actually works for you and not the other way around. Okay. Because the truth of the matter is, we have ideas and thoughts and things that we're like, gosh, if we could do that, we could really solve pain points for a lot of people. We could really solve a problem for a lot of people. And sometimes we don't necessarily know how to go about doing it. All right. Let's talk about the trap that too many of us women fall into. Listen, let's be real. Some of us built our businesses with the same burnout energy we were trying to escape from in the first place. I'm pausing for effect. I'm going to say that again. Some of us built our businesses with the same burnout and the same energy that was wearing us out that we were trying to escape from. Okay. We overbook ourselves. We underprice our value, and we say yes to too many things. Who am I talking to today? And our business becomes another burden instead of a blessing. How many of us have been guilty with that? I will be the first to raise my hand. And though we have set out to build our business because we want to help people, we want to solve a problem. We did not always research, or we were not always clear on what that cost is to build such a thing. Okay. And so that's why we're talking about this today. We want our business to be a blessing, not a burden. So it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. There's a new model, one that lets you build from alignment and not exhaustion. And this is the BAWSE Blueprint Framework. I'm so excited to share this with you all. And again, we spell boss over here, BAWSE. And boss on a typical day stands for Bad Audacious Women Serving with Excellence, because that's who we are and that's what we do. But in terms of starting a business or having a business or running a business, the BAWSE Blueprint Framework is going to mean something else. The B in this case, it means to build around your life, not the other way around. Because even me as a mother of 12, still serving in the military, I'm getting ready to sunset my career after almost 3 decades. I am building my business in between those spaces because I still have an insatiable desire to serve people in that capacity. But I need to make sure that I do it in such a way that allows me to block my priorities first, which is what you should do. Block your priorities first. And for me, they are God, family, and health. And then you build your business, or I should say, I build my business around that. And that is what I'm encouraging you all to do. The A in the BAWSE Blueprint Framework: align your business with your assignment. Before you can even really build, okay, let's pause here for a moment. We can build anything. We can build anything. But how many of you have heard of building a house on sinking sand? How long do you think that house is going to last? Versus building it on a very solid foundation that's going to allow the house to withstand storms, withstand bad weather, withstand the various seasons that happens. You have to look at your business like a house that's going to go through some things. So if you build your house that's not in alignment with your assignment, you are essentially building your business on sinking sand. Just like you will build your house on sinking sand. Just like anything, if it's not in alignment, you're off kilter. And yes, it may look glamorous, it may look amazing, and it may even look inviting to the eye. But if it's not in alignment, you have to be cautious of that. And you have to move strategically if you have not said, oh, wow. So before you even start anything, make sure that whatever it is you're doing, it is in alignment with your assignment. Do not chase trends. Okay? Do not chase trends, because it's easy to be distracted by the shiny object, because that's how it is now with social media. This is why in other places, in other seasons, other episodes, we've talked about the comparison. Don't do it. Because what Susie is doing to your left or what Sally is doing to your right has nothing to do with Sarah should be doing for her assignment. So don't chase trends, but instead build based on your divine calling. Your divine calling. I'm going to say it again. Your divine calling. All right. The W in the BAWSE Blueprint Framework is work with your wiring. This is why it's important to understand your behavior blueprint, because it's important to understand how you show up and why you show up the way you do, which is why we cover that before we talk about this. Everything builds on each other. Know your behavior blueprint. If you are visionary, don't force yourself into tactical overload. hire or systemize instead. Okay. It's so critically important because what will happen, you will find yourself in this hamster cycle. And we've talked about this. I've said this countless times. We get into this hamster cycle and we're exerting all of this energy and we're trying to figure out, oh my God, but I did all the things and I have not moved my needle not one step further. Because one, you're probably out of alignment with your assignment, right? And number two, you have not discovered what your behavior blueprint is. You have not discovered and really analyzed what your wiring is and how you tick. Okay. The S in the BAWSE blueprint stands for structure and sustainability. What does that mean? That means we automate. Make it easy. Or I should say, make it easier. Because let's be clear, being an entrepreneur, and some of you are solopreneurs, all right? It's just you, yourself, and yourself. You yourself and your shadow, all right? It's not always easy. However, when you automate, it makes it easier. So you're going to automate. Then you're going to delegate. Let's talk about that. We've talked about that in my master classes and other spaces. We talk about it in the Eisenhower metrics. There's a whole delegation quadrant that we speak about. And this is the area that we struggle with, particularly as high achieving women, because we have that underlying current that we must do all the things. We must do it. Or if I want it done right, I must do it myself. That is bondage, friends. You're holding yourself in bondage when you do that. Delegate. Delegate. It's called building the bench. It's called empowering others. It's called freeing yourself up so that you can be in your zone of genius. And then after you have automated, after you have delegated, now let's talk about eliminated. If it's not necessary or it's not in alignment with your assignment or you're wasting time, don't do it. If it's not contributing to that goal that you are trying to accomplish, don't do it. And you have to remember, I'm going to give you some free game real quick. When you're setting a goal, you have something that's called tactics. Tactics are the steps that you take to reach the goal. If those steps are not pushing you to reach the goal, that's wasting time. Get rid of it. So we're going to automate. Then we're going to delegate. Then we're going to eliminate. Who is this helping? Get really serious about systems. They will really bless your life and your business. All right. And then finally, the E in the BAWSE blueprint framework stands for edify. Don't just earn. Oftentimes, you will hear in these business streets that income will be the byproduct of impact. And let me be clear. Everyone's business will move in accordance to the alignment with your assignment. Some businesses start and within 3 months, they might take off and they may make the 6 figures. Others, it may take a year. It may take 2 years. It may take 3 years. But the key for you is along the way, edify lives. Edify other people, edify other spaces. When you are in alignment with your assignment, you have no choice but to do that. And you will find that you can take your, now, don't get me wrong, the heartbeat of a business is sales, okay? That's your heartbeat. A business will not survive without sales. However, as a CEO, as an owner, as an entrepreneur, you don't want to be so dug in and that's all you're thinking about. If you're thinking about what is the impact I want to leave, what is the footprint I want to leave behind, what is my legacy I'd like to leave behind, how many lives do I intend on touch? Is it 1,000? Is it 10,000? Is it 1,000,000? So you don't necessarily have to think about just earning, but if you think about edifying, you will earn. Your earning will be the byproduct of edifying. Impact builds longevity. Serve deeply and you'll scale naturally. I'm going to say that again. Serve deeply, and you will scale naturally. Income as a result of impact. And I want you to understand that freedom isn't found in more clients. Freedom is found in better structure. It really is. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is your boss activation assignment, because here we teach, we coach, we mentor, but we'd like to give you action steps. And I encourage you, as you all come and you listen to episode after episode after episode, don't just listen. I want you to apply what you've heard. You hear people say knowledge is power. That's cute and it briefs well and it sounds great. But knowledge isn't power without the application of it. So this week, I want you to complete the BAWSE blueprint. I want you to complete the BAWSE blueprint audit worksheet, which we'll provide. I've provided the link in the show notes. So if you go to show notes and click the link, you will have it. And in that worksheet, you'll audit your business through the lens of your life, your assignments, your wiring, your structure, and your service. And in that, you're going to identify one. Notice I said one, because we're going to do the one thing around here at a time. Okay. One clear adjustment you need to make. Just one. Identify that. And then the next thing you're going to do is write a personal commitment to building differently. Write a personal commitment to building differently. I want you to do that. Don't just listen, apply. That is how you build like a boss. All right. Queen, let me remind you of something. Let me remind any of you ladies that's under the sound of my voice. You were not built for burnout. You were not built for burnout. You were built to boss. You were built to be a bad, audacious woman who serves with excellence. And in this season, to own your crown, monetize your mission, and move boldly in your mantle, that is going to require you to take action and to take massive action. Success loves speed. Don't listen to this podcast. And I've told you, this season, we're providing not just information verbally or visually to you, depending on where you're looking or hearing the podcast from, but now we're providing an actual worksheet for you to go and do the actionable step. A tangible worksheet, not just us talking to you. All right. I want you to download the worksheet in the show notes. Do your audit and give yourself permission to build a business that blesses you back. Think about that woman that you're trying to reach. Think about how you want her to imagine her future self, just like you've imagined your future self. And if you haven't imagined your future self, I want you to do that. It's so important. It's so critically important that we take the time to do that. I'll see you next week. And the thing is, next week when we come back, we're going to talk about how to unpack to scale your business with sanity. We're going to talk about that, and without selling your soul. Isn't that something? I want you ladies to really take the worksheet and run with it. And I would love to hear some of your feedback. I would love to hear some of your feedback on that. Get the worksheet, download it, and do the audit. And we'll come back next week to unpack some things further. Until then, I do want you to stay bold. I want you to stay brilliant. I want you to stay bold and stay brilliant. It's been such a pleasure. And I know one thing I say in a podcast or a meeting or wherever I am, be brief, be brilliant, and then bounce, right? the BBB, the B cubes. I want you all to do that. But I really want you ladies, please, download the worksheet and let's do the audit. Download the worksheet and let's do the audit. Do your audit. Do yourself a favor and let's see where you are so we can see how to scale you to the next level. And most of all, make sure that you are positioned, to help that woman that is struggling, to help that woman that has this brilliant idea in her head, and she knows it's brilliant, but she doesn't know how to position herself to get it out there. Or she's dealing with imposter syndrome. She knows she's brilliant way down deep, but then she's like, oh no, but maybe not so much. Or the woman that's struggling with, oh my gosh, I have so many children, or I have so many responsibilities and I don't have the time. But I know I want to start a business. Do your audit so you can be positioned to help that woman in need because she's waiting for you. Until then, always remember to please pivot with poise despite the noise. And we'll see you next week. Meanwhile, bye-bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Girl Organize That Life podcast, where clarity meets calling and powerhouse women rise with purpose. If today's episode lit a fire in you, don't just keep it to yourself. Subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another boss woman who's ready to live boldly and lead with grace. And if you're craving even more tools, truths, and next level strategies, join our inner circle. Head to girlorganizethatlife.com to get exclusive content, priority access to upcoming events, and the kind of faith-fueled inspiration that keeps you grounded and growing. Remember, you don't have to hustle for your worth. You were born for this. Stay rooted in faith, anchored in purpose, and always pivot with poise despite the noise. Until next time, girl, organize that life and live it boldly. Bye for now.
Coach L3.